I'm just waiting for a bus, the 363 from Blythe. It's due any minute. It's quite nice round here, isn't it? Typical southeast Northumberland. There's the sea, of course, down there, Seaton Sluice. Excellent paddling, I'm told by those who paddle. And there's Blythe over there, where all of those windmills are, Blythe Harbour. Good grief! It's not often you see something as posh as that beside your bus stop. I must go and have a closer look. This is Seaton Delaval Hall, which is a house that the National Trust desperately wants to buy and make safe for the nation forever. It was designed in 1718 by Sir John Vanbrugh, who was a very interesting man. A soldier, a spy, he became a hugely successful playwright, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, he became the greatest architect of his age. His very first building was the huge and splendid Castle Howard in North Yorkshire, and he was responsible for the absolutely gigantic Blenheim Palace. Seaton Delaval is tiny by comparison to those vast palaces, though it's bigger than my house, and I bet it's bigger than yours. But it is nevertheless Vanbragh's masterpiece. It was his last design. In fact, he died before it was finished. It's laid out like other houses. It's got this main block, flanked by lower wings, but that's where the similarity ends. At Seaton Delaval, his client left him free to build what he wanted, and he produced a restless, romantic masterpiece. There are gigantic porticos all over the place, and the walls are bristling with surface decoration. There's bulging rustication on the basement. And look at this big sticky-outy rustication. Now that's not pretty, is it? But it is powerful, and it's typical of the house, which is one of the most original and unusual in the whole of England. What happened was that Vanbrugh just seems to have responded to the place, to Northumberland, to the wild sea and the wild northern skies, of which there are lots in case you hadn't noticed. He loved the north. He described it as being far better than what he called the tame, sneaking south. And this is an amazingly northern house. It's like a reinterpretation of a castle tower, all compact and powerful, jutting up into the sky and bristling with towers and turrets and things round about it. But if the house is extraordinary, the family who lived here matched it. The Delavals in the 18th century were astonishing. They had coal mines and glassworks, and the harbour that they constructed next door to the house at Seaton Sluice helped fuel the Industrial Revolution. But they also had mistresses and lovers and huge debts. There was rape and blackmail, sordid corruption and noble courage. Political bribery sat side by side with industrial and commercial brilliance. But above all, they seemed doomed. One after another, the family that lived here when the house was young died sadly, or violently, or too soon, in debt or out of favour, until in 1822, when the house was less than 100 years old, it was ravaged by a fire in which only the wings survived intact. The main house was left a noble and beautiful shell, a romantic shadow. And now the National Trust want to buy it, and they want our money to help them do so, and I hope they get it, because I've been looking through the National Trust booklet here, and there are some wonderful buildings in here, wonderful buildings, but you know, I can't find any that are greater than this house. As architecture, this is right out of the top drawer, and for romance, well, it just can't be beaten.